You're listening to Voice of Israel.
And we're back here in the Lion's Den. I'm Daniel Seaman.
And I'm Daniela Traub.
And yes, I know in the first half, I was saying
crying that I wasn't
that you're not here, and
Yeah.
you're here now. Surprisingly, no, this is pre-taped. We're
Just
taping
came
this.
back from reserve
no, you
duty.
Didn't. No, you do. And this is we taped this earlier this week, and so we wanted to get some things in here while Daniela was still here. And what we're doing today is we're going to be introducing, because one of the things we know is there's a lot of organizations out there, and we bring in a lot of experts to the Voice of Israel to talk about topics. Media coverage of Israel is an important topic, and there are quite a few organizations out there. So we thought that what we do is give, for people who don't really know, make them familiar with what the organizations are, who they are. And I thought that there would be nobody better for the next segment on an organization called the Committee for Accuracy in Middle East Reporting in America, which is called CAMERA for short. And we have the director, the executive director and president, Andrea Levin. I thought nobody better than Andrea, who I know for a very long time, to be here then to explain and give us some background on the organization and what they are, what they stand for, etc. Andrea, thank you for being here in the Lion's Den and Voice of Israel.
Oh, it's great to be here, and congratulations to all of you. This is a wonderful operation, and kol hakavod for everything you're doing.
Thank you so much. Can you tell us, for our listeners that may not be familiar with your organization, what exactly is CAMERA and what do you do?
CAMERA is now an international media monitoring organization. We were founded in 1982, and we have sort of pioneered what is in effect a sort of a hybrid operation of academic analysis, monitoring, and research, and activism. So we believe very much in the power of the individual, but also in the collective power of working together. So we've created a system of assigning people to monitor individual media outlets, and then to do all kinds of things to respond to problems. We interact individually on a regular basis with senior executives at pretty much every major media outlet you can think of.
In the United States?
In the United States, in Spain, in Britain, and in Israel. So we do this sort of a whole broad array of sort of tactics and strategies once we've identified a problem. And the problems that we focus on are primarily factual. We don't take political positions. We don't deal with opinion about a given activity or an event, but whether it's factually presented.
So that's the issue you deal with, the issue of facts, for journalistic integrity, I guess you would call it that. You said that there are members. Who are the membership? What is the membership of CAMERA? And who are the members, and how do you have them involved? Are they just receiving information, or are they also participating?
We have a membership of 65,000. We have offices in 7 cities. The members contribute financially to support us, and they also, if they want to be activists, then they are provided the opportunity to participate in our action alerts, our writing campaigns, and all kinds of other things. In various cities, they attend programming. We have extensive programs running across America. Right now, we are, for example, very focused on problems of bias on campuses. So we're running some programs on defamation of Israel in American campuses. So people can participate in lots of ways.
And what are your activities? How do you operate?
Well, as I said, the main process is that our analysts are looking at the media on a daily basis, and if they find something that's inaccurate, they're in touch with typically with the media outlet. If it rises to a very sort of high level of abuse, we might then distribute an alert.
Can you give us an example?
One example is an occasion, an episode involving a BBC interviewer who, in covering the demonstrations after the Charlie Hebdo massacre in Paris, interviewed a woman, and then out of the kosher the kosher market where the Jews were killed, interrupted her when she was commenting on it to basically to insert his view that actually there would be some sort of justification for that attack. So we did an alert on that, and actually that it's probably the kind of thing that really stirs people up more than anything, because it's so outrageous, it's so egregious, and the BBC is responding fairly positively in this case to the outpouring of indignation.
Andrea, you and I go back very far and very long ago, and we've worked with media for, it's a generation already, 25 to 30 years. First off, what are the responses to camera when they do approach and address this? Is the media receptive, or do they tend to discredit it or brand you in a sort of way? And has there been any improvement over this past generation?
Well, it's a good question. It's a very complicated question. It varies. We deal in individual interactions with media on particular broadcasts, and then we deal in these broad campaigns. If you look at some of the major media that we've addressed, National Public Radio, the Boston Globe, Public Broadcasting Service, we have seen changes and improvement over time. And it comes in a very, very labor-intensive, focused effort. Constant vigilance, day in and day out, interaction personally with the outlets, and then, as I said, these sort of public activism campaigns. I would not say that there has been an improvement in some areas because of the sort of onrush of the internet. That has had an impact. Standards have not, unfortunately, the standards that apply in the old line mainstream media have not moved over to the internet. On the contrary, the chaos of the internet has affected the mainstream. So in the broad sense, you can see negative trends there, but at the same time, as I say, we do see positive developments in case-by-case basis. And if you look at our website,
which is, if you want to,
camera.org, www.camera.org, you see constantly corrections posted, and these are extremely important. Corrections don't really change the outside view, that is, the reader isn't affected, but internally there is an impact on the institution in that they tend to avoid repeating the error. So it's that diligent, constant, vigilant process that does.
And this happens because of the involvement of individuals who are very diligent about it, the membership there. So people do have an impact. They should understand that the involvement does have an impact. And
absolutely.
This campaigns that you conduct.
This is the core belief of camera is the power of the individual, because we have seen it so many times and so often.
I want to, there's a sentiment that if you're critical of the media, or the feeling that Israel is being presented in a unfair or unbalanced way is part of a particular political view. And just last week, there was a U.S. Congresswoman from the Democratic side, excuse me for looking it up here. It's Debbie Wasserman Schultz, who was taped while making this comment. And I'm going to go to the videotape, to the sound for a moment, and listen to what she had to say.
The media's coverage, and it's not just MSNBC. I've seen it on CNN and even in the broadcast media as well. We have work to do. We have work to do to educate and to make sure that people understand that there's a very simple solution to this. It's called recognize Israel's right to exist as a Jewish and democratic state. Let's make sure that we can adopt a two-state solution where you have a Palestinian state and a state of Israel living side by side in peace. And let's make sure that we have in communities all around the world, the adults not raising their children and teaching their children to hate us, to hate Israel and to hate Jews simply because of who we are.
Well, that's what a Democratic Congresswoman had to say. What would you say to that?
Well, she's hit a lot of the right points. We don't take a position on political issues, so we wouldn't be arguing pro or con, a two-state solution. That's for Israel to decide. We look at the factual issues. But she certainly is right about giving Israel fair treatment. And of course, she's touched on one of the most profoundly important issues, which is the indoctrination of populations to demonize and hate Israel and Jews, and the catastrophic failure of the media to cover this. There is no greater failure of the media than this. In fact, in our top 10 media problems of the last year, it's always number one, the failure to cover it and expose it.
And to sum it up, why are you here now in Israel? What brings you here?
This is our 20th visit with our board. We come and we sort of become reinvigorated, of course, but we meet with important people, experts, analysts, journalists, government officials, and all kinds of people who then become important connections for us for information that we need. So it's always a wonderful trip here.
Well, that's all the time we have today. I want to thank Andrea Levin, the Executive Director and President of the Committee for Accuracy in Middle East Reporting in America, or known as CAMERA. Thank you for all the wonderful work that you've been doing yourself and the organization. I know you for almost 30 years and have been a very big supporter of your activities, and am very aware of the usefulness and how productive you've been in assisting Israel with media coverage and anybody involved with CAMERA. And also thank you for being here in the Lion's Den with Daniel Seaman
and Daniela Traub.
I just want to promote their website, camera.org, www.camera.org, for more information about them. And for more great shows, you can visit voiceofisrael.com. Follow us on Twitter at VOIsrael. You can follow Daniela on Twitter on her own handle.
Daniela.g.traub.
I don't have Twitter, but you can give us a like on Facebook. You can write us if you have any questions. You want to ask us something, go ahead and do that. We will be right back.
Voice of Israel, your source for news and views on everything Israel and the Middle East.